welcome back to Little Miss Drop Stitch. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do this wonderful knitting stitch. It's called moss stitch, sometimes also referred to as seed stitch, and it's got this lovely bumpy texture to it. This video includes knitting and purl stitches, so it will assume you know how to do those, but if not, no worries. Take a look at the links in the description where you can find videos about those. First things first, we have cast on our stitches. Again, there's a video to that, and I've used the thumb method, so we'll link that below. As I said in the introduction, this uses knit and purl stitches alternatively. Okay, so the very first stitch, you're going to knit it. The second stitch, you're going to purl. So to do that, on the same row, you need to bring your yarn to the front, and then you can purl the stitch. The third stitch will be knitted, so your yarn's at the front, so just bring it to behind. You'll know if you have got it in the wrong place because it'll just be a bit kind of difficult to do. Okay, so we want to knit, yarn behind, knit. Fourth stitch is purl. So there is a pattern here. It's knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. Okay, on and on. I want you to continue to do that until you get to the end of your row. It's a good idea for moss stitch to cast on an even number of stitches. Brilliant, we're at the end of the row, so we want to put that back in our left hand, yarn to the right, and empty needle in the right hand. So for the next row, which is the wrong side row, okay, we have just done a knit stitch, and this becomes more apparent as it grows. So now, wherever there's a knit stitch, we want there to be a purl, and wherever there's a purl, we want there to be a knit. Or you can just follow the pattern. So this row, we're going to start with a purl stitch. Next stitch is knitted, purl, knit, and continue purl, knitting to the end of the row. And if you've casted on an even number of stitches, then you will be ending on a knit stitch. Fabulous. So not as much excitement to see at the moment, but I will knit some more and let it grow for you. But we are starting to get a little bumpy texture. So how do we know which is the correct side of the work? Well, a bit like the garter stitch in another video, it is quite forgiving, okay? It's just the first row that will be different, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest, as long as the stitches are opposite on every row. But if you really wanted to know, then if you've used the thumb method to cast on, then it's always at the beginning of the row on the correct side. Okay, the incorrect side, it's at the end. Brill. So for our third row, you want to knit, purl. That's the pattern, and repeat that. Okay? So knit, then remember, bring your yarn to the front, purl, and we're going to repeat that. So we want to knit the next stitch, yarn to the back, and then purl. Next row, we are doing purl, knit, and you're going to repeat that along the row. I will show you close up as well in a moment. Fantastic, so we're starting to get this bumpy moss stitch, also known as seed stitch pattern, coming in, okay? And this is caused by knitting on the purl stitches and purl stitching where there's a knit stitch, okay? But it's easy to look at than to say. So the purl stitches are these bumps, and the knit stitches are these V's as well. These are also on the needle, so if you do them incorrectly, you might be able to tell. It might also take, quite a bit of practice to tell if you've gone wrong, which is absolutely fine. So on the needle here, if we were to do it, well, that's got a V, so then I want to purl into that one. This one here, on the previous row, we did a purl because it's a little horizontal bump, so I'm going to want to knit into that stitch. Thank you so much for watching. Moss stitch is a really beautiful stitch. Why don't you go and take a look at some other stitch videos that I've made for you.